So I'm on a highway, I'm just cutting, you feel me? I'm cutting. When my brother called me, I eased up off the gas and I picked up the phone. When I picked up the phone, I just heard shot. Non-stop. I know I was hit when the cop told me to get out the car. I was like, I'm trying to, bro. He was like, get out. And when he put the flashlight, it was blood all on the door, blood on the dash. Busting back gonna get you killed.
That's when I see lights behind me start to flash. And I didn't even think, I just hit it. I was driving like my life depended on it. Then I parked the car, hopped out, closed the door, and I started running.
And he pulls out a burner, a shank, it's like 6 inches. And he passes it to me. And he goes, here, that's yours. Don't ever leave the cell block without this. He was the reason I made it out of that place alive.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Connect. My name is Johnny Mitchell. This is the final episode of our Miami series. So by now, you know all about the history of the trade in Miami. You know, the Colombians were at the very top, bringing the bricks in straight from Medellin, giving it to the Cuban middlemen, who would then turn around and give it to the Puerto Ricans and the Dominicans, who would then supply the street dealers. And these street dealers are the Haitians, or the Haitian Americans. In Miami, they're known as the Zos. Our first stop in our exploration of the Haitian community in Miami was to the neighborhood of Allapattah. An up-and-coming rapper named Zoe Dollars, a Haitian American who is really blowing up in the South, brought us to the Miami River that runs straight through Allapattah.
Break it down to us. So this is where, like, when the boats got unloaded?
All the ships gotta come through here, bro. All the biggest ships gotta come through this way. Mm-hmm. As you can see, you see mega yachts is parked all through here.
Yeah. Okay, so we're in Allapattah, which is a fun name to say. It's the hood. We're in the ghetto, but it's crazy because the Miami River runs straight through it like this, and you can see downtown, you can see the high rises, and these Haitian posses, what they used to do is these boats loaded up with cocaine coming through and docking right here, they would jack them. And so that was kind of what they became known for, was hitting the boats. So when Zoe is talking about hitting boats, that's what it means. It's they're sticking up, you know, the cartels that are unloading the work on these docks.
You know, Zopan was like pirates, man. Yeah. If they knew your boat had them things on there, they gonna hit that.
So of course, what they ended up doing is cartels would make a deal with them. They'd say, hey, stop robbing us. We will give you this work wholesale on consignment, you go and distribute it.
And we got a background on the history of the Zopound and why this little neighborhood was so important to them.
You know how like the Jamaicans had like the posses that came up from the island in like the 70s and 80s?
Yeah.
Did Haiti have a similar thing?
Yeah, we had Zopound. Man, that's us.
Yeah.
That's disease, man. Zopound, man.
The Zopound, or the Zos as they're known, is the original Haitian immigrant street gang. They formed in the 1980s in the Miami Haitian neighborhoods like Overtown, Little Haiti, and Allapattah.
You might hear Zopound in a lot of raps.
Yeah.
That's like a gang who started in jail. You came to Miami, you had to check in with the Zopound. If not, it was smoke.
In fact, today, famous rappers like Future, when they come to Miami and they need bodyguards, they'll tap the Zos for their own personal security.
So if you were a rapper and you came to Miami, and obviously they were going to protect you for a fee, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And the Zos were not just drug dealers. They were tough guys, just like the Jamaicans. They had posses, and they were oftentimes murder for hire, bodyguards for hire. They have biker clubs that exist to this day, and they're involved, you know, 1 foot in the street, 1 foot in the legal world, just like a lot of the things that exist on the street in Miami.
It got so bad that's where Zopound, they had the motorcycle. Remember when they used to ride like the Rough Riders?
Yeah.
And the Colombians were like, look, man, we can't beat them, let's join them, let's negotiate with them. So look, now we're gonna hire y'all to protect them.
Now, if you know anything about Haiti, it's much like Jamaica and those other islands, except they're doing worse than all of them. They were the original slave colony and the only successful slave rebellion in the history of the Atlantic slave trade.
The first people in the world to defeat colonization, bro. Nobody else done it until we did it.
But they've been crippled economically for the last 250 years. They've got civil wars, coups every other year, brutal earthquakes. It's just hard living over there. And so, of course, what happens is the Haitians who immigrate to Miami bring that toughness and that grit to the streets. Zoe came up young in the streets of Allapattah, selling drugs, gangbanging, carrying guns, getting in shootouts.
And we had all types of shit going on here. This is where I made like my first drug sale. And my mom had a red Caravan. You take the the horn out and stuff O's in that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like where the airbag goes. Yeah, the airbag goes. We'll put drugs in there and we'll sit in the car and vibe out, listen to instrumentals. Everything happened here, man. You know, people we had beef with pulling up to the block. I'm shooting at their cars and shit. They shooting back at us. There was a lot of shit that happened, bro.
But it wasn't until he blew up and actually made it as a famous rapper that he ended up getting shot.
Really, I was with one of my homegirls, leaving the party and shit. I'm in an AMG, I'm just cutting, so I'm like, man, these niggas ain't gonna catch me. I pull my strap out, and my homegirl's like, man, if you don't put this shit away, man, she was like, you scaring me, put this shit up. And I took every red light, so I'm on the highway, I'm just cutting, you feel me? I'm cutting. When my brother called me, I eased up off the gas, and I picked up the phone. When I picked up the phone, I just heard shots. Non-stop.
How many times you get hit, Zoe?
5 times.
You got hit 5 times?
Yeah.
Where?
I got hit like all right here. I know I was hit when the cop told me get out the car.
And you were leaking?
I ain't noticed nothing. I was like, I'm trying to, bro. He was like, get out. I was like, bro, I'm trying to move and I can't move. And he like forced the door open and he like grabbed my leg. He was like, you wet? I'm like, shit, I'm probably hit. And he ran to his car, cut my jeans open. And when he put the flashlight, it was blood all on the door, blood on the dash.
Did you bust back?
Man, I ain't had time to. I was trying to get the fuck up out of there.
Of course, man.
Busting back gonna get you killed.
Now he rides around in a bulletproof SUV and carries an AR-15 just for protection for he and his family.
This is my baby, you know what I'm saying? This the Beast. B7 level bomb proof. It's fully bulletproof.
Right.
Man. You can't get through there or nothing. We go to sleep at red lights.
That is very typical Florida shit, I will point out.
Shit, we from Dade County. This the only thing these niggas shooting at you with.
Right.
That's why I'm riding this shit like this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I got my son in the car. That's why I gotta keep, you know what I'm saying?
But the model be in the front seat.
Yeah, this is my baby right here. This is my passenger princess.
Everybody down there, and I do mean everybody, is packing multiple forms of heat everywhere they go.
We in Florida, gun laws is different. Everybody got guns. Shit, your youngest nigga could go to the gun store, wait 5 days, and get his shit. And we smart criminals, nigga. We don't always go to jail, so background clean as shit, you go get a pistol.
Despite finding fame and fortune in America, Zoe still has to live the black experience. And he says when he goes back to Haiti, that's actually when he feels freer.
Back home, my mama was that. And when she came over here, she had to be a janitor that's working at the mall. But back home, she got maids and shit like that.
So why come here in the first place?
Man, because the American dream, what they painted.
The second Haitian community we checked out was a neighborhood called Overtown. Now, this was the slums. This was the ghetto. Many streets in Overtown looked a lot like Skid Row in downtown LA. We met up with a local rap legend named Desloke Piccolo, who was born and raised in Overtown and helped influence the careers of household names like Pitbull.
And what was growing up like?
It was out of control then. It's kind of real nice then. Like, all right.
You think it's mellowed out since then?
Yeah. I done seen brains on the sidewalk and all that when I was a kid.
Right.
Overtown is a fascinating neighborhood because it's the slums surrounded by these rapidly gentrifying neighborhoods like Wynwood and Miami Beach.
But now they getting so close, you can see the buildings right there. Like, them shit used to look like babies.
Right.
But now they grown people. Now they grown up. Like, you feel me?
Yeah.
So, like, damn, they getting close. They coming. And, like, in Overtown, the highest they went up was, like, 2 to 3. But now, look right here. They going up.
It feels like the other side of the tracks because just 200 yards in the distance, you can see the skyscrapers and the $1 million condos of downtown Miami. But inside Overtown, it's a whole different world.
Have one-stop shop. Everything is in one trap. You can come get the weed, the coke, all in one. And then you'll go across the street, next block. Across the street, 20 yards over there. He got this too.
Right.
25 more yards over here. Like,
it
used to be a trap right here, a trap right there, a trap right there.
Yeah.
Dope sells itself.
To Just like every ghetto neighborhood back in the 80s and 90s, Overtown had street corners and drug houses on every block, sometimes multiple on each block, selling the big three: marijuana, crack, and heroin.
It's always the corner.
Right.
It was everywhere back then, but it was mostly corner.
And
once upon a time, it'd be 7 motherfuckers got sacked on the same corner and the car pulled up and everybody running to the car.
Back then, if you were a Haitian or a black drug dealer in one of these Miami neighborhoods, you wanted to have what they called a chico or an oye. That meant a Spanish connection to cocaine.
If you had a clique, right? If you had a crew on the corner moving, I don't know, say you're moving coke or crack. Who was the RIA? Who were you
At that
dealing
time,
with?
though, it was it went from the Chicos.
Who's the Chicos? Explain who the Chicos
Like
are.
Chicos, like the Puerto Ricans, the Colombians, all Chicos are all Chicos. Like Chicos.
Spanish.
Yeah, Spanish.
Gotcha.
You know
Gotcha.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Like
Like
this.
this.
Yeah.
Hey, if you wanted dope back in the day, you gotta holler at somebody like, find somebody like this. Look, somebody like, you know, this is what they kind of used to look like with his plug. But now he's plugged on some other business, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's what it used to look like. If you see that, like.
You can tell it's vegan because look at all this poultry that's not getting eaten.
You
know?
see? Everybody eating good.
Those were the good old days, though. Now it's fentanyl. Fentanyl has taken over and ripped apart that community just like it has in cities all over America. We ran into a former up-and-coming rapper who was supposed to be the hottest new thing out of Miami.
Like, look at my dog. Look. Go zoom on in my dog. See the one sitting down?
Yeah.
Down right there. He was the rawest rapper.
Right.
Signed the Trick Daddy Dollars.
He'd fallen victim to fentanyl and was out there on the street corner scratching and begging and becoming a shriveled up version of a human being. It was very sad.
With that key, guess you see, is you ready to be? You don't buy me, you don't buy me, nigga, I just represent you.
We were told to stay out of Overtown after dark, and we could see that was with good reason because as we're walking by a little corner store, we look up and there's bullet holes, big ones too, probably sprayed out of like an automatic weapon that had showered the side of this wall. We saw prostitutes, dope fiends, homeless people pushing carts down the street. It was a real dicey area, but it was also weirdly tight-knit, especially in these little communities of people that had lived there since the Haitians first started immigrating back in the 1970s. People owned their homes. They would have chickens and goats running through the alleyways. It looked probably like it looks back in Haiti a little bit. We ran into a local kid, a sweetheart of a kid, who had this to say about his plans for his future.
I'm in 11th grade and I'm trying to make it to college and play sports to get up out of here and get these people off these streets, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's all.
It's tough to predict the future of Overtown. A lot of us think that it's going to become gentrified, just like a lot of the neighborhoods close to it. And that's because the people there own their homes. We talked to guys like Desloke who were hanging on to their properties and it saw them skyrocket in value. And what that probably means is the developers are going to come in and start buying those people out so they can knock the houses over and build up those gigantic $1 million condos just like they're doing all throughout Miami.
You still live in Overtown?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
It's like when you...
Is your property value gone up since they are trying to Wynwood is creeping over? So are you going to sell? Do you plan on...
Don't make me lie.
Tell it, don't lie. You can't lie, bro.
It depends on the ching-ching.
Yeah.
We wanted to check out the Haitian communities in Miami because as an ethnic group, they're very overlooked when you think about Florida. When we talk about Miami, we talk about the Cubans, of course, the Colombians and the Dominicans, but the Haitians were the ones that took that work off the boat and went stone for stone in the streets in communities like Overtown. They were the ones truly who made the Colombian kingpins rich. The very bottom of the drug trade is the most important part because that is who is feeding the consumers. So we wanted to go pay homage to them, and we are very grateful for people like Desloke for showing us around.
Do you think freedom is worth being poor, though? Do you think it's better to be free and poor than enslaved and better off?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd rather be happy broke than miserable rich. Mm-hmm. For sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's just my take on it. For some, it's different.
All right, you guys, that's been today's episode. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Make sure to go subscribe, like, follow us on socials. And of course, subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/TheConnectShow. We will see you guys next week.